Since we are studying the Nakshatra Sukta, we might as well take that up for our study and what this is, what does it mean. We'll look at the etymology, we will look at its place in the Vedas, and all that. So we have seen that there are 27 nakshatras. So basically, I'm sure all of you who have had some idea about nakshatras, horoscope, and then when you have your own nakshatra, you would have got your children, and then you know their nakshatra, and ultimately it is all 27 nakshatras. So first question is, what does this word nakshatra mean? So, na ksharati iti nakshatraha. Na ksharati iti. That's the etymology. That is, they are fixed beings, fixed entities. We can say they are fixed stars. They don't move at all. They will be completely wherever they are. It is only with reference to the movement of the earth, movement of the moon, then we will be able to think that the nakshatras are moving, but actually they are not moving, they are fixed. So that is why it's called as na ksharati iti, that which does not move. So we can also break the word as nak plus kshatra. Nak or naka or means it is a night. Kshatra means which has got a lordship or a rulership. So anything that has got a lordship over the night is also called nakshatra. So two important meanings with reference to the Nakshatra Sukta. So then what are these nakshatras? They are actually constellations that lie in the orbit of the moon. So with reference to the earth, if you look at the moon that is moving, if you watch the night sky, you will see that the moon is actually traveling, and in the back of the moon there is also the stars. The earth is turning, the moon is also rotating. It appears as though the moon is traveling along the constellations of nakshatras, isn't it? So this is orbital path of Chandra only. That is why we are considering only 27 constellations. Even though there are millions of stars in the horizon, since we are fixing the study of the Nakshatra Sukta with reference to the moon, we will see presently why moon becomes important. With reference to the moon, Nakshatra and moon are connected. So we have got 27 nakshatras. So where do we first come across this concept called nakshatra? In the Taittiriya Samhita Kataka Prashna, in some parts we have seen that. For example, some of us who have studied the Kathopanishad, the first chapter of the Kathopanishad, Ushan Havai Vajashrava Sarva Veda Sandadau, that comes from the Kataka Prashna of the Taittiriya Samhita. Of course, later on, the other chapters were all added in the Upanishad. So this Kataka Prashna recounts a story which mirrors the story of the Puranas also. Soma actually married the 27 nakshatras. So in the Purana, Soma is Chandra, who marries the 27 daughters of Daksha Prajapati, and these 27 were the wives of Chandra. So there is a legend also that since Chandra was all the time doting upon one of the 27 wives, who is Rohini, the other 26 go and complain to their father, Daksha Prajapati, and Daksha Prajapati curses Chandra that he should be waning. Then because of Shiva's anugraha, he will be waning and waxing. So waxing, actually, not waning. It will be waxing, and then he, because of the grace of Shiva, he will start waning also. So the waxing and waning is caused because of his overindulgence with one of the vice. So, as you know, that we have 7 lokas called the Urdhva lokas, or the upper realms, starting from the earth onwards. So the 7 lokas are actually, according to the Nakshatra Sukta and the Vedic astronomy, are concentric circles. So we have 7 concentric circles. Prithvi goes about in one concentric circle. Then there is the Antariksha. Then there is Chandra. There is Surya. There is Nakshatra, Parameshti Prajapati, and then Swayambhu. So these are the 7.
All those, Ashwatanka?
Huh?
Can you repeat what all you said?
Yes.
You said first Prithvi, then Antariksha, then Moon?
Prithvi, Antariksha, Chandra, Surya, Nakshatra, Parameshti, and Swayambhu. Parameshti, Prajapati, and Swayambhu.
Thank you.
So, you may also find a cross-reference to this hierarchy in the Mantra Pushpa. So, when you look at the Mantra Pushpa, Agni is related to Prithvi. Vayu is related to Antariksha. Then Aditya is there, Surya in the sky. Then Chandra, then Nakshatra, then Parjanya, then Samvatsara. So that is how the Mantra Pushpa goes. Chandrama va apam pushpam. Then after that Nakshatra niva. And then you will do Parjanya. Like that, the same hierarchy is there in Mantra Pushpa also. So what we did, our sages did, was by dividing the sky on the basis of Chandra's moving with relation to these fixed stars, they came upon the creation of the time as a month. So Masa, or the month, how do we determine that? It is because of the movement of the moon with reference to the 27 nakshatras. So this, initially the month was divided, Masa was divided into only 27 days. But now it is 28 days. Chandramana is 28 days. That is the measurement according to Chandra is 28 days. So which is this 28th? The 28th is also a nakshatra, and that is called as Abhijit. So this Abhijit nakshatra, I can give you actually the coordinates also, but that's a little beyond the scope of Nakshatra Sukta. This Abhijit is the one who will be between Uttarashada Nakshatra and Shravana Nakshatra. Between the two constellations, Uttarashada and Shravana Nakshatra, Abhijit Nakshatra is there. And then, so more about the nakshatras, astronomy, and then astrology, we will request our friends who are experts in Jyotisha to speak on the Pratibha Mancha. As far as the astronomical and astrological ideas are concerned, we'll bring it on Pratibha Mancha. But here we will look at it in the light of the Veda. So we have also seen that each one of the nakshatras has got Devata, Adidevata, and Pratyadidevata. So now we have got to connect each nakshatra to the Devata, Adidevata, and Pratyadidevata. And we have also seen a structure. The Devata and the Pratyadidevata of one nakshatra becomes the Devata and Pratyadidevata of the subsequent nakshatra. So, isn't it? So that also we have to determine why that structure has been created. We will come to that. So one more grammatical point to note is the 27 nakshatras, we said, represent the 27 daughters of Daksha Prajapati. Therefore, all the names of the nakshatras are in the feminine gender. So it is in Strilinga. So whenever we are chanting, we must be very careful in pronouncing the name of these nakshatras in feminine gender. With one exception, the Abhijit nakshatra is masculine gender. So this is a little bit of grammar behind the names. Besides giving Devata, Adidevata and Pratidevata, the Buddhist wisdom adds color to these nakshatras also. So each one of the nakshatras have their specific color, and since 27 nakshatras, 27 colors, 27 devatas, 27 Adidevatas, it's instead of just giving the list, I'm going to create a chart for you, and then I'll share it with you so that you will have it as a printed record. Now the next question is, we said Devata, Adidevata, Pratyadidevata. What exactly do we mean by Devata? So far what did we do? We defined what is Nakshatra. We defined why that Nakshatra is related to time. We found that why Nakshatra is related to the moon. All those we determined. We also decided it is the feminine gender except Abhijit Nakshatra. Now we have got to ask the next question. What do we mean by this Devata? Whenever we use this word is derived from the Sanskrit root div. Now, some of the Sanskrit students are aware that in the Dhatu Pata there are 10 classifications called 10 Ganas. This is one of those unique roots which is there in all the 10 Ganas. And each one of the root div in the different Gana will give different etymologies. So we have to choose the etymology appropriate for the subject under study, the nakshatra subject under study, and therefore we also have to know which one of the roots and the meaning we should choose. So among the 10 different meanings that are there for the root div, here are the ones which becomes relevant to Nakshatra Sukta. Div Kridayam. That means there is a play. There is a play and a dance in the sky. When you look at these stars, when you look at the moon, and when all this movement is going on, and with reference to the earth, the whole firmament is moving. So it is a play that you will see in the horizon, in the sky. So we can use Diva Kridayam. Then, when the nakshatra and the Chandra is favorable to us, and when we are doing any ritual on a good nakshatra day, because I will tell you why this point is important. So in that you want to be successful in the enterprise work you are doing, so it is going to be Deva Vijigishayam. Devata can also be taken as one who is victorious. Then the third one is, it is on the basis of day, time, muhurta, nakshatra, that we undertake various enterprises, various activities. Suppose you want to get married, then we would ask, is the nakshatra good on this day? Suppose you want to start a business, is it good on this day? If you want to start a construction of a home, is the nakshatra good? In other words, transactional importance is there for the nakshatra. So Deva Vyavahare is the third root that we can apply. Then what is the characteristic of nakshatra? It is shining. You cannot miss that it is shining in the sky. So therefore it is Diva Dyutau. Dyutau or Dyuti means to shine. So that which is shining. Then for the sake of favor of these devatas, what do? We pray. So the next root is Divastutau. Stuti means prayer. And when you are worshipping a devata and you establish a relationship with the devata, it is going to give you a joy. So div mode, that which gives you joy. And we are actually very much attracted by the beauty of these stars. We don't have to even study all this theory. Just by looking at it, you get excited and say, what a beautiful star is this Arundhati or Vasishta star, how beautiful it is. So therefore, Divakantau, that which gives beauty. Then we are also seeing movement. It appears that the stars are all moving, and therefore Divgatau, that which is moving, that which is going. So these are the most relevant roots that we have to use whenever we try to analyze what this nakshatra is. So besides going to the root of the word devata, we should also understand by looking at the synonymous words for the devata. So why do we look at the various synonyms of any word in Sanskrit? It is because they will give us a definition, a clarity and an understanding of the devata in depth. So where do we go for this? Vyakarana is going to give us the root. We have to go to Kosha Granthas. Kosha Granthas are encyclopedic works which give us synonyms, antonyms, explanations, alternative meanings, opposites, and all those words are given in beautiful verse form. There are many, many koshas. In fact, in my library itself, I got close to a dozen koshas. Of all of these koshas, the most important kosha is Amara kosha. So if you really master one Amara kosha, which is called as Nama Linga Anushasanam. You remember in Anushasanam, we have already studied that it is a teaching that has come in a traditional manner, Guru Shishya Parampara. So in Guru Shishya Parampara, any text which gives us Nama, name, Linga, gender. That Nama Linga Anushasana Kosha Grantha, outstanding Kosha Grantha, is by Amarasimha. And this Amarasimha, this Kosha Grantha, and why it is necessary, what is the relevance of the word Shabda and the word Artha is something we'll incorporate in the Pratibha Mantra. Because it's a whole new beautiful subject, we will see who will be ready to study the Kosha Granthas and Shabdartha. So what happens as far as the interpretation of Veda is concerned? Which Kosha Grantha should we refer? For the Veda, we have got to use Yaskacharya's Nigantu. So many of the interpretations that I will be giving is based on Yaska Maharshi's Nigantu, and some of the Laukika Shabdas, that is, which is post-Vedic classical Sanskrit, we will take it from Amara Kosha by and large. So let's come back to Deva. So how to understand Deva? First we saw the roots, Devakantau, Devatyutau, so on and so forth. But suppose we want to go deeper into the characteristics of the Devatas, then we can use the following synonyms. Amara, that is one who never dies. Nirjara, one who never gets old. Deva, Tridasha, those who are in the three states. 30 also we can interpret. 30 devatas are there, which later on became 33, or 3 dasha, 3 states. That also can be said. Vibudha, one who is very, very intelligent, knowledgeable. Sura, one who is enjoying in the self. Suparvana, Sumanas, of good mind. Tridivesha, one who is the lord of the three worlds. Aditeya, Rubhu, Aswapna, who doesn't sleep at all. That is why in Purana also we see that they don't blink and their feet doesn't touch the ground. So that's why they're also called as Aswapna, Amartya, those who are not Maranashila, that is whose characteristic is not one of death. Martya is Maranashila, Amartya is Amaranashila. And then Bahirmukha, that is why our Indriyas are also called Devas, because they are always outward bound. Bahirmukha. Then Girvana, that means those who are worshipped through Veda, and so on and so on. Danavari, Vrindaraka, many names are there. So whenever we are using contextually, we will pick up this one or the other of this epithet. So at least 20 descriptive words can be found. And then contextually we will apply that in interpreting the mantra. So as we study the nakshatras, we can also classify the characteristics. So the next question is, why every nakshatra should be associated with three devatas, the devata, adidevata, pratyadidevata? Because all existing beings in the whole creation, whether it is sentient beings or insentient beings, that includes even the nakshatras to great extent, not completely, because nakshatras are actually also beyond these three. We will see that. But what you see, physicality, they are all within the three levels. And those three levels are three spheres. You remember we listed 7 spheres. The first 3 spheres only: Agni, Vayu, Surya. So Agni, Vayu, Surya is corresponding to, Agni corresponds to the Devata, Vayu corresponds to the Adidevata, and Surya corresponds to Pratyadidevata, because they can be only in these 3 realms. Therefore, why these 3 realms? Agni is relating to food, Anna. Vayu is relating to prana, and Surya is relating to the intellect. For anything to manifest and for another person to perceive, that person must have, that entity must have form. Form can be given only by Agni. And that form must have some life, because we are talking about nakshatra, devata, life. That life force must be there, prana, and there must also be an intelligent principle within it. So that is why each of the nakshatras we are going to study has got form, prana, and an intellect. Because of all these things, when you worship a nakshatra, you will establish a communication. Unless the other entity has got rupa, prana, and intellect, there can be no communication. All these nakshatras, to indicate that they all have these 3 forms, we have devata, adidevata, and pratyadidevata. In other words, the nakshatra is sustained by 3 devatas. And that is why the devatas are called tridashaha, those who are in 3 states. That's the justification for that. But the nakshatras themselves are beyond these 3. That fact you must remember. That means they are in the turiya, unmanifest state. It looks as though a nakshatra is a heavenly body that you can see, just as it looks as though I am a human being. But what is the 4th state that I have? There is the Atman, isn't it? That without the presence of the Atman shining through the Stula Sukshma Karana Shariras, my existence is not there. Similarly, Devata, Adidevata, Pratyadidevata is the medium through which the fourth state called Nakshatra. Here you have got to take another interpretation of the word Nakshatra, Nakshatihi, that which will never perish. What is one thing that never perishes? It is Brahman. So therefore, this is the Nakshatra per se is unmanifest, but it manifests through Devata, Adidevata, Pratyadidevata, and in relation to the movement of the moon, time is determined, and each one of them have got Devata, Adidevata, Pratyadidevatas, and we have got 27 Devatas that we have got to study. These 27 Devatas are distributed in 3 sets in all the 27 mantras. And where is the relevance of this? It is also determined by where this Nakshatra Sukta is. The Nakshatra Sukta is in the Taittiriya Brahmana, in the third Prapataka. It is the first Anuvaka or first part, and therefore, since it is a Brahmana, this is very much used in ritual. But just because it is in ritual, it doesn't mean that it doesn't have a philosophical basis. So as we study each one of the nakshatras in the coming classes, we will see who are these devatas and what is their quality. And then we'll also see the meaning of each one of the mantras.